20 laps once again for these vintage sprint cars as they head their way over towards the start cone in turn number 4. Trace Mailer's waiting on the gas. He's on it. We're green on the first feature of the night into turn number 1. Goes Trace Mailer off onto the point, trying to keep it 2 wide out behind him for a second. They're almost 3 wide for the lead by the time they make it down into turn number 3. Dan Ingram to the inside of Scott Plue. Plue gets it blocked on his exit. He tried to get the power down, just could not get alongside Dan Ingram as he's hard on the brakes right down there in the middle of the corner. Out in front, Trace Mailer going to try to get away. Almost more contact there between Dan Ingram and Scott Plue as they work their way back off of turn number 4. These guys super tight, super equal race cars for that second position. Trace Mailer looking like he's taking it pretty easy so far. Doesn't need to push that number 55. He knows he's got the car to win. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Scott Plue still trying everything he can to get around Dan Ingram. Gets right in line. Still trying that outside groove. 17 laps to go. Coming to 16 to go. 4 laps complete for Trace Mailer, the leader of this vintage sprint car feature. Top 4 still under a blanket. Here we go. Plue alongside for second. He finally takes it away from Dan Ingram. And Scott Plue finally into second place. Can he chase down as Dan Ingram hard into the outside wall here on the front stretch. We got a caution. Here they come up towards the restart cone. Trace Mailer gets the bump from Scott Plue. That's just about the jump he needed. Heads off into turn number 1 with a couple of car length advantage over Scott Plue. Plue has about a car length advantage over Brett Morley in third. Morley trying to dive it into turns number 3 and 4. It's not going to be enough for him. Single file still goes the field. Hard on the brakes. You can see the sparks flying underneath the number 11 of Scott Plue, trying to everything he can to catch up to Trace Mailer as they come off turn number 4. This time Morley taking an opportunity here. He gets to the inside for second, trying to take that spot away. Trace Mailer going to try to keep his lead in that number 55. He's going to try to slide up here on the exit of turn number 4. Does he do so? Yes, he does. Just about throwing the block, not allowing Scott Plue to gain any sort of momentum. Now Scott Plue to the inside. Trace Mailer's car's pace is for some reason just falling away. That number 55, he backs up the exit, makes a little bit of contact there as they come off of turn number 4. Scott Plue on the point now in the vintage sprint car feature. 9 laps complete, 11 to go. 3 to go for Scott Plue. 2.5 advantage for that number 11 machine as he rolls into turns 3 and 4. Coming to 2 to go this time. Mailer still trying to find anything that works, trying everything he can to gain any time possible, just not finding it at all. Scott Plue takes the white flag this time on the vintage sprint car feature. Back into turns 1 and 2 for the final time. That number 11 approaching the lap traffic of Ron Fox. Still has a lot of ground out behind him to play with. Off of turn number 4, Scott Plue takes the first feature of the night in the vintage sprint car feature.
Thank you, Casey. He's up out of his car. Let's give a big round of applause to Scott Plue from Hudsonville, Illinois. Our vintage sprint feature winner here at Coles County Speedway. All right, Scott, first off, congratulations. You made a really nice pass there off that, right after that restart in there. What can you tell me about it?
Well, before the caution, it felt like it came in, and right when we had that caution, I thought, well, surely he's going to move up and take that away. And I was really surprised when he went back to the bottom, kind of left the door open for me.
Cool. What can you tell me about your car here?
This is John and Paula G on this car. Thank you to them for letting me drive it. We got Moss's Well Service, the Tasty Freeze, Taco Tequilas, VP Racing, Angie's on Wheels, Archer's Race Cars and Fabrication. We've got a lot of people to thank, but this has been a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, it takes a big team. What chassis and what motor are you running?
This is a 1985 Oz, and it is a 355 built by NPD.
And just like that, control of the field being given to Grayson Graham and Evan Boyd as they approach the start cone over in turn number 4. At the start cone, Evan Boyd is on the gas, and we're green. Going to be a great jump there for Grayson Graham down into turn number 1. He slides a little bit too high, makes contact with the back bumper of Easton Cambinsey. Cambinsey, of course, getting just a little bit tight on the exit of turn number 2. Isn't quite able to hold on to that second spot. He'll fall back into third. Xander LaRose finding his way forward as well. Further back, you'll see the 25B of Case Barnard up to 5th, working his way around the 1B of Landon Bailey. Bailey tries to fight back to the inside. We got trouble over in turn number 2. The number 95 of Bentley Hopper goes for a spin, it looks like. Caution will come out at the completion of lap number 2. 2 laps complete for Evan Boyd as he's going to bring the field up towards the restart cone, looking for an advantage. He dives at it this time, much higher groove than you would normally see a restart here at Coles County Speedway. Green flags waving. Going to be a good enough jump for Evan Boyd to hold on to that advantage by the time they make it through turns 1 and 2. Grayson Graham falls back in line. Easton Cambincy trying to find his way forward as well. Nolan Leon gets his car refired, trying to get his car to a safer position, it looks like. Most of the field trying to keep it relatively organized. Presley Hall trying to work underneath Joe Bonowitz, it looks like, for about the 7th spot. She'll pick off Landon Bailey as they roll off into turns 3 and 4 for about the 6th position. Out in front, still Evan Boyd with a 1.5 second advantage over Grayson Graham. Graham has Easton Cambincy still all over the back bumper for that 2nd spot. Cambincy looking for an opportunity off 3. Can't do it down there. Bailey with an issue over at the top of turn number 2. Car is slowed down there, trying to pull it down to the infield, trying to keep it green as the field. We've got Schaefer with an issue as well. One car hard it to the fence off of turn number 4 just as the caution comes out. That would be Dylan Schaefer. The teammate car, Bentley Hopper, also had an issue at the exact same time off of turn number 4. So you had about 3 incidents there, 3 completely different spots on the racetrack happening all at once. 5 laps now scored as complete on the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprint feature. The caution lights extinguish over in turn number 1. Evan Boyd with control of the field once again. Does he bring the field up towards the top side of the racetrack once again, or does he go back to the bottom? No, he goes to the top once more. Dives at that restart cone a little bit earlier than last time. We're green once again on the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprint feature. Into turn number 1. Evan Boyd clear by a couple car lengths. Back behind him, Grayson Graham still has Easton Cambincy looking for an opportunity around the defensive end. Trying around the north end of the facility now. Doesn't have an opportunity down there. Back here in turns 1 and 2. Cambincy has the door wide open as Grayson Graham enters way too high. Graham back into 3rd as Cambincy moves through into 2nd. Evan Boyd still well clear of the field by 2.5 seconds and pulling away at a pretty convincing rate now in that 5B. Easton Cambincy is going to may just have to settle for 2nd unless he gets another late race restart. 7 laps to go on the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprint feature. Schaefer with an issue on the backstretch. This is the caution that Cambincy needed, and he'll come to a stop in turn number 3. Evan Boyd, Easton Cambincy, the front 2. Easton Cambincy giving him a little bit more room this time. Green flags waving. Evan Boyd gets a great jump there. Not sure why Cambincy gave him as much room as he did. And Evan Boyd going to be clear by a much larger margin than he normally is on these restarts. They come back around to complete the first lap back under green. 6 to go on the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprint feature. Lap time's about a 10th slower for Cambincy. 3 laps to go now for Evan Boyd back into turn number 1. Rest of the field still single file as everybody's getting into a rhythm now. Fortunately, too little too late for the majority of this field. Evan Boyd's been the class so far. 2 laps to go for that number 5B machine. Evan France has Casimir Brow all over the back bumper. As Presley Hall's going to get passed by Joe Bonowitz, she slips up in 3 and 4. Bonowitz up to 6. White flag waving for Evan Boyd back into turn 1 for the final time. Hall with a bigger issue on that number 25P. Just going to try to finish this race as Presley Hall, but over in turns 3 and 4 for the final time. It's that 5B, Evan Boyd, taking the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprint feature win.
Well, congratulations, number 1, and you drove a really good race. The car looked fast. You did a really good job on the restarts. And then when you got to lap traffic, you really cut through it.
Yeah, my dad made my car really fast. And I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my brother Matt, Jeremy Boyer, Jeremy Sutton, the Dirty Right Rear Podcast, Boyer Cattle, GD Hauling, Prestige Trucking, Truck Co., Sammy's Hauling. And I think that's it. Cape Electric. Cape Electric.
All right. So you say your dad, your whole family made the car fast, huh?
Yeah.
Feel good out there?
Yeah.
All right. All right, folks. Well, let's hear it again for Evan Boyd from Doe Run, Missouri, your High Caliber Graphics Junior Sprint feature winner here at Coles County Speedway.
We've had a great night so far in terms of speed, great racing all throughout. The heat races in the Spartan Transportation A-Class wings as they come to the start cone for the feature. We're green. Larry Drake way up the racetrack off the start. Drew Sherman gets away from him. You'll have Nate Casper find his way through as well. He'll go through to second. Larry Drake fights back to the inside through turns 3 and 4. They're 3 wide for third, almost 4 wide as the one car falls further back. That's Nate Casper into the pack. Tanner Triplett falling back as well. Harrison Robar's going back by him. A lot of jostling for positions here early on as the field tries to get themselves organized out in front. Still Drew Sherman way out in front. Over now Larry Drake, who's about half a second slower than him that last lap time. We'll might see what they come across the line this time. Nate Casper still trying to find some pace underneath that car. He's back into 6th for now. He's got a whole pack of cars that want to go forward right behind him. Everybody trying to keep it going. 4 laps complete for Drew Sherman. Larry Drake 1 second behind him exactly. Then Caleb Sutherland, Cannon Posey, J.J. Williams, the top 5 as they work their way back off to turns 3 and 4. Everybody trying to keep it all going in the right direction. Caleb Sutherland to the inside of Larry Drake off of turn number 4 for second. Drake holds on, moving that outside groove. He blocks the groove now in the middle of the racetrack as they go through turns 1 and 2. 7 laps complete. Now 8 for Drew Sherman as he works through lap traffic. Caleb Sutherland through to second through turns 3 and 4. Sutherland now going to try to set sail away from Larry Drake. Cannon Posey coming his way forward as well. Still right in front, Drew Sherman working his way through heavy lap traffic at the moment. He splits him 3 wide middle. He knows he's got to go, and sure enough, he just sent it in there to turn 1, and he gets it done. What a move there from Drew Sherman. Racing all over the racetrack. Everybody's 2 wide, 3 wide. Oh, Harrison Robar's up and over big time over in turn number 2. Red flag is going to be out. What can he do to keep that 64, Caleb Sutherland, out behind him? Third, Larry Drake. What can he do on this restart? Up towards the top side of the racetrack is Drew Sherman. He stays high past the restart cone, dives towards the berm. Once he steps on the gas, we're green once again on this Spartan Transportation A-Class winning feature. The field keeps it all clean and green through turns 1 and 2. Back into turns 3 and 4. Might have a different story here. Larry Drake on the bottom, but Caleb Sutherland tries to squeeze his way up towards the top side of the racetrack. Turns 3 and 4. We got a red flag. Bodie Everett upside down in turn number 4. Once again, Drew Sherman with control of the field coming on this Spartan Transportation A-Class winning feature restart with 11 laps to go. Larry Drake second, Caleb Sutherland third, J.J. Williams, Cannon Posey the top 5 as they head back towards the restart cone over in turn number 4. Drew Sherman up to the top side looking. He's on the gas. We're green. Larry Drake gets a great jump. He'll be on the inside down into turn 1 trying to take this lead away. He can't do it down there. The field keeps it clean down through turns 1 and 2. Here we go, back through turns 3 and 4. Drew Sherman is going to hold on to this advantage for now. He extends his lead by quite a bit over Larry Drake. They need to catch lap traffic, I think, for Larry Drake to have a chance here. Larry Drake's really throwing it in. He's giving everything he can. And that number 97D, he's trying to chase down Drew Sherman. Lap times equal, just half a second separate the front 2. J.J. Williams going to clear the 64, Caleb Sutherland as they roll through turns 3 and 4. Not quite clear, almost clear. Just gets him down there in turns 1 and 2 on the entry. He's finally got it. Up into third goes J.J. Williams. Out in front still Drew Sherman. Larry Drake is there. Lap times are so equal between these top 2 drivers. Here we go, 5 laps to go. Drew Sherman, as he approaches lap traffic, I don't think it's going to be heavy enough to be a factor. Caution comes out, and that will definitely change that storyline. Lap traffic no longer a factor in this one. Can this be it for these front 2? Can J.J. Williams, he's had such a huge run here this last 2 restarts. He's found his way up into third. He's so good here on the short run here at Coles County Speedway. Let's go. Drew Sherman up to the top side of the racetrack, diving at the restart cone. Much better restart this time for that number 3 of Drew Sherman. Clear by a couple of car lengths by the time they get down to 1. The field pretty well organized by the time you get through turns 1 and 2. Sutherland gets picked off by Noah Mell. Man, if Mell just started up front, man, what a race we would have. I feel awful for him. He is absolutely on a tear through this field, Noah Mell is. He's already on the back bumper of J.J. Williams and Larry Drake for second. If he clears both of them, they complete a lap, then get a caution. We've got a great race on our hands. Noah Mell still looking for an opportunity around Larry Drake here for third at the moment. He's going to be alongside and clear by the time they make it through turns 3 and 4. Dives underneath J.J. Williams as they come to 3 to go this time. Drew Sherman has slowed a little bit. The pace no longer there on Drew Sherman's car. Bobbles just a little bit that last couple of laps. J.J. Williams clear and Noah Mell once again. Mell just able to fire around that outside so well. He's still alongside. 2 laps to go. Coming to the white flag this time is Drew Sherman. He's got 1 more lap to hold on. J.J. Williams not quite going to be a factor in this one. Noah Mel going to try to power around the outside. It's going to be a drag race to the line if they both go to the top side. No, it's not. It's waved off. Nate Casper with another spin in turn number 3 brings out the caution. It's going to be, I believe, a one-lap shootout. 1 to go has been given at the flag stand. Drew Sherman, J.J. Williams, Noah Mel, the top 3. Larry Drake, Caleb Sutherland, the top 5. Who is going to do it here with a green-white checkered restart? Can Drew Sherman get himself a good enough jump? Can he get away from the field out behind him? J.J. Williams, Noah Mel, both are hungry out behind him. They want to win. Here we go. We're back green. Larry Drake, great restart. Gets to the inside of Noah Mel for 3rd. He's got to pick off 3 more cars, though. Not sure if he's got time to do it. Here comes J.J. Williams to the inside. Started 7th, looking for the race lead. White flag this time. Williams leads his first lap. Back into turns 1 and 2. One last time. Williams slides a little bit too high. Here comes Noah Mel. Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Sherman makes contact. It's a drag race to the line. Drew Sherman steals it.
All right, folks, let's give a big round of applause to Drew Sherman from Phoenix, Arizona, your Spartan Transportation A-Class feature winner here at Coles County Speedway. Well, you look fast that whole race. That last lap, it got a little dicey for you.
Yeah, he snuck under me, and I got real nervous, but I knew if I could get under him up in 3 and 4, then I'd have a shot to get past him and, win the race. And that's what I did, and I won.
Yeah, your restarts were all spot on tonight. I mean, and you looked really fast, too. I mean, you just had that one moment, so it almost slipped away, but you brought it back.
Yeah, I was a little scared, but I can't thank everybody enough that helps me. AME Electrical, Sunshield Products, Temperature Control, Ellis Race Cars, my mom, my dad, my grandpa, my grandma, my brother, everyone who helps, It's really awesome.
She's got A.J. Williams to her outside as they come to the start cone on the Dirty Right Rear podcast feature. We're green. Natalie Hubbard gets a great jump, but so does Grayson Graham into turn number 1. See what they can do. As we got trouble over in turn number 2. Dowler trying to keep it up, right side up. She just about does. We don't go red, we go yellow. Points leader right behind them of Grayson Graham. Here we go. We're green once again on the Dirty Right Rear podcast feature. Into turn number 1. Grayson Graham gets a great advantage there as the field gets a little bit discombobulated in the mid-pack. As we go 3 wide further on back, especially near the tail end of the field. A lot of contact in the mid-pack. Everybody just trying to sort it out and get on through. No trouble just yet. 1 lap complete. We're almost going on 2. We got trouble getting ready. Shelton goes sideways, gets turned back, headed in the right direction by Niles Tudor. Unfortunately for Niles Tudor, his ends up in the wrong direction, and caution comes out. Another problem up in turn number 3. Colton Vogel's car comes to a stop at the top of turn number 3. We're going red flag, it sounds like. Natalie Hubbard once again with control of the field. Grayson Graham behind her. Then Roper Roberts. Can any of these drivers try to take the lead away from Natalie Hubbard as they come to the Dirty Right Rear podcast restart cone? We're back green on the Dirty Right Rear podcast feature. 19 laps to go for Natalie Hubbard. Back into turns 1 and 2. The field mostly single file. Nobody really trying that outside groove out, it looks like, for the most part. Everybody trying to keep it right down there on the bottom of the racetrack. Grayson Graham already knocking on the door for the lead on Natalie Hubbard. Still looking for an opportunity back into turns 3 and 4. Hubbard gets a little bit too tight on exit. I think that's where Grayson Graham is going to try to take this lead away. He slides just a little bit too much on entry in turn 1. He's going to lose a lot of ground here on Natalie Hubbard. He now gets too deep into turns 3 and 4. Natalie Hubbard able to clear by several car lengths, over half a second advantage for Natalie Hubbard. 3rd place, Roper Roberts starting to close in now on Grayson Graham, as Graham has not found his rhythm at all after that restart. Was on it for about 1 to 2 laps. Hasn't been able to do it since then. J.C. Stanridge in another car. Looks like Aiden Weiger having an incident over there in turn number 3. Restart as they approach the Dirty Right Rear podcast restart cone over in turn number 4. Natalie Hubbard back up to the top side of the racetrack, diving at that restart cone. Great jump here for Grayson Graham. Back to green into turn number 1. Grayson Graham all over the back bumper and Natalie Hubbard. Contact. We have one car up and over, barrel rolling over in turn number 2, ending up on its roof. And the red flag comes back out. Natalie Hubbard back to the top side of the racetrack as they come back to the restart cone. We're green once again on the Dirty Right Rear podcast feature into turns number 1 and 2. Not quite a good passing opportunity there for Grayson Graham. Has to back out of it. That allows Jackson Burks to get all the way up to the back bumper. Another car that has slowly made its way forward all the way through. One car way up the hill. Not sure he kept it out of the, how he kept it out of the wall. Through turns 3 and 4. That was 16 of Roper Roberts. Ripped all the way the fence all the way around through turns 3 and 4. Mackenzie Dowler will pick off the 42 of Jackson Burks. And Dowler has found her way back forward after that lap 1 incident. Now back into the top 3. She's rolling her way forward as well. Natalie Hubbard still on point as they complete 7 laps. Time running out for the field, and lap traffic not really going to be a factor on this one. Going to have maybe one car, it'd be the Kinzer Holloway car she might catch. And even then, it's one car, not positive they're going to catch Riley Bonowitz. Trouble over in turn number 4. This will be another caution. J.C. Stanridge, I think that is. Yes, it is. Coming across the timing line, lost a spot. Natalie Hubbard up to the top side of the racetrack. Grayson Graham all over the back bumper. Green flags waving on the dirty right rear podcast feature once more. 8 laps to go for Natalie Hubbard. The field mostly single file through turns 1 and 2. J.C. Sanders trying to make moves, trying to get around the slower cars down in front of her. But for the moment, lap number 1 back into green, led by Natalie Hubbard. 0.3 of a second gap, about a car length advantage for Natalie Hubbard as they roll off turn number 2. That extends to 2 car lengths as they head back into turns 3 and 4. Grayson Graham stuck in line. He's a little bit better in turns 3 and 4 over Natalie Hubbard, but Hubbard just so much better in turns 1 and 2, really getting the advantage of pulling away. But for now, Natalie Hubbard still out in front. She's clear by about a second in that number 53 car. 2 laps to go for Natalie Hubbard, looking for career win number 1 here at Coles County Speedway. Into turns 3 and 4. White flag this time for Natalie Hubbard. Back to turns 1 and 2. Her advantage, a 1.25 seconds over Grayson Graham. Lap traffic, not a factor in this one. It'll be Natalie Hubbard through turns 3 and 4, picking up win number 1 of her career here at Coles County Speedway.
All right, folks, she's up now to her car. Let's give a big round of applause to Natalie Hubbard from Benton, Illinois, your dirty right rear restricted micro feature winner here at Coles County Speedway. So you don't know, how was your ride? I mean, how'd the car drive?
It felt really good.
Really good. It looked really good. So you got sponsors, anybody you need to thank?
My mom and dad, JB Modified, Benton Superlube, Brandon Shaw, Shaw Stickers and stuff, Chemstream Race Fuels, and Odom Performance.
Up front, Corey Stevenson, Steve Cole going to lead the Mod Lights over to the start cone. Looking for 20-lap feature. Here we go. We're green, almost 3 wide off turn number 4 into turn number 1. It's Steve Cole looking and take that lead away from Corey Stevenson. He just about does it. 3 wide further back in the pack as everybody tries to single it out, single file. Still double file as the Wiltermoods start to make their way forward, both of them. You'll have that number 28 car starting to come forward as well. Matt Suzuki started 7th. He's found his way up to 6th already, looking for 5th on J.R. Wiltermood. J.R. Wiltermood goes for a spin, hits that concrete berm. Man, that had to hurt just a little bit. That car dug in, and the caution will come out. 2 down, 18 more to go for Steve Cole and the Modlite Feature as they come back to the restart cone up towards the top side. On the gas is the field. We're green once again on this Modlite Feature. Great jump from Steve Cole, clear by at least 2, maybe 3 car lengths by the time they got down into turn number 1. Steve Cole's car just not as good as entry on these other cars, but he has so much grip, able to get on the gas super, super early, and able just to power around that bottom groove, rolling that berm really nicely. He's moved up about half a groove, actually, it looks like now. Corey Stevenson's got nothing for him so far. Corey Stevenson in second is going to have the U2 of Danny Jolly working on his back bumper, looking for second. Danny Jolly fading back now into Brendan Freeberg. Brendan Freeberg looking to the inside of turn number 3 of Danny Jolly. A little bit of contact off of turn number 4. No harm, no foul between those two. Rest of these drivers keeping it mostly single file. Brendan Freeberg still trying to work to the inside of Danny Jolly for 3rd over in turns 3 and 4. He gets alongside. He'll stay alongside, backed into turn number 1. Great opportunity for Brendan Freeberg here. Just cannot quite get the car slowed up to the point he wanted to as Danny Jolly shuts the door and holds on to 3rd for now. 7 laps down for race leader Steve Cole, who continues to lead this way by about a second over Corey Stephenson in second. Brendan Freeberg now goes on the outside of Danny Jolly. This is a great overtaking opportunity for him here if he can get the power down. He just cannot quite get the power down as well as Danny Jolly does. Now he's going to have to get a huge run down in the backstretch here. Gets into the back bumper of Danny Jolly. And Jolly able to hold on to that spot for now. Brendan Freeberg still trying to power around the outside. He's finally alongside for third. Still looking for an opportunity. He's going to finally take that third spot away as they come off turn number 2. Out in front, Steve Cole still has not found his way into lap traffic. He's really pacing himself really nicely here. He knows he's got, I think, a better car than what he's driving right now. Running lap times about 12.3 is actually a little slower than his overall average. Trouble on the front stretch. Caution will come out. This was the caution that the field needed. So we'll re-rack them with 8 laps to go. Here we go. Steve Cole with control of the field once more. Corey Stephenson backs up the start a little bit more than he has in the past. Green flags waving. Great jump there for Brendan Freeberg. Gets to the inside, looking for second through turns 1 and 2. He's still looking on the inside of Corey Stephenson as they come through turns 3 and 4. Are able to keep the throttle down just about a little bit better on exit. Doesn't have it through turns 3 and 4. Is 1 and 2 just better than the rest of the field. He gets a huge run down the backstretch here. Brendan Freeberg back to the inside of Corey Stephenson for second. Bounces just out a little bit more than he wanted to. He sets back in line. Back to the top side of the racetrack he goes. Really kind of a late apex he's going for here. It's something you would see typically more in road racing, especially with like hairpin corners, and he is really just getting to the apex super late when he gets to that high groove. He gets back to the inside of Stephenson here in 1 and 2. Once again, 5 laps to go for Steve Cole, coming to 4 to go this time. Brendan Freeberg needs to clear Corey Stephenson right here, and he does. Stephenson's car has really hit a rocket, looks like, in terms of performance. And Matt Suzuki wanting to go on by after starting 7th. Be a great way to end his night if he can finish on the podium. Here we go. White flag this time for Steve Cole. The gap less than half a second now to Brendan Freeberg. Freeberg is there looking for an opportunity to try to take this win away. I think he's too far back. It looks like he is. Off of turn number 4, Steve Cole takes the win in the Modlite feature.
All right, folks, let's let them hear it. Steve Cole from Benton, Illinois, your Modlite feature winner here at Coles County Speedway. Well, you look fast all night yourself, Steve. I mean, you got out there out front. You look pretty comfortable out there. The car looked fast.
Well, thank you. The car was good tonight.
Yeah, I think the driver was too. So.
Yeah, thank you. Really good racetrack. It was real racy. I don't know what it was like watching, but it felt good in the car anyway.
No, it looked good out here. Your cars look good out here. You guys always put on a good show out. It's your first win here?
Yes, it is. My second time being here. I came once last year.
Okay, excellent. So, all right, got any sponsors, anybody you need to thank?
Jason Riggs, he owns the car, and then Riggs Fiber, ProTech, and then my brother Kevin and my wife Keisha for the help. So.
One to go, signal given for the Cleveland Grain non-wing micros. As they head off turn number 2, Nolan Bartley, JB Gilbert with control of the field. Gilbert in a new car himself. Here we go. We're going racing for the last time tonight. Cleveland Grain System non-wing micro feature is underway. Around the outside is going to try JB Gilbert. The field trying to get it organized as we'll call it off. Go under caution. Everybody tries to find room to slow down, and everybody just about does. Back with control of the field. Here we go. We're green on the Cleveland Gray non-wing micro feature into turn number 1. That same start we just saw. Everybody trying to scramble for positions. JB Gilbert with the advantage as they head through turns 3 and 4. He'll lead lap number 1. Drew Sherman, after starting 4th, is already up to 3rd, looking for 2nd on Nolan Bartley. The field, everybody trying to navigate through turns 1 and 2. It is just a absolute traffic jam of race cars. They're 4 wide off of turn number 4. That never ends well. And sure enough, we see it time and time again. You can fit 4 wide here, but it's really tough to do. And a lot of the times doesn't end up well for a lot of drivers. A lot of guys lost positions there in that 4 wide little scuffle. Parker Bupp still on the outside of Nate McMillan for the 8th spot. Bupp trying to get on by. Big stack up over in turn number 3 and 4. This will bring a caution. Chad Baldwin, Tyler Scott, Alan Gandusa, and Michael Conquer. The rest of the field still out on the racetrack. JB Gilbert to the top side, looking for the restart cone. We're back green on the Cleveland Grain Systems non-wing micro feature. Back to turn number 1. Everybody mostly single file. Everybody fans out as they find their groove here on this restart. Still, that top 3 cannot get away from each other as they roll their way back into turns 3 and 4. Nolan Bartley tries that outside groove out, just not finding any pace. That number 7 up on the top of the racetrack. Same thing with Drew Sherman. He tries about half a lane up, and he just cannot get the car to turn as well as he wants it to. Still really isn't getting turning as well as he wants it to. Just really at all. Drew Sherman back in line in 3rd, still looking for an opportunity to get around Nolan Bartley. Bartley still working that high groove, trying to find some momentum trying to close the gap on J.B. Gilbert. Gilbert about half a second clear of these 2 cars behind him. Field still keeping it all clean and green so far. Roland Bartley with an issue from second. He's got something significantly wrong, some sort of suspension damage of some sort. We got a bigger stack up in turn number 2, however. Who is going to set the pace? Have a big stack up here as they come towards the restart cone. Down to the bottom side of the racetrack. This time is J.B. Gilbert. Throws off the field behind him. We're back green. Didn't throw him off as much as I think he wanted them to. Drew Sherman all over the back bumper looking for the feature lead as they head back into turns 3 and 4. Hunter Walker looking as well for the second spot. I don't know if he has quite the car to keep up with those 2 out in front of him. Those front 2, J.B. Gilbert, Drew Sherman, are cars that are just that little bit better than the field out behind them. Everybody's still trying to navigate through. Everybody finding their place on the racetrack. Out in front still Drew Sherman looking for an opportunity to the inside of J.B. Gilbert. Still doesn't have it through turns 3 and 4. He just cannot get on the gas as early. He's so much better on corner entry, but his exit velocity of that number 3 machine is just not enough to get alongside J.B. Gilbert. Both like that high side in 1 and 2. Both back down to the bottom in 3 and 4. 2 to go this time for the front runners. On the Cleveland Grain Systems non-wing micro feature. Here we go. Big run from Drew Sherman. He'll go topside this time through turns 3 and 4. White flag waving for J.B. Gilbert. He'll shut the door back into 1. Big slider from Drew Sherman. He makes it stick. Here we go. Drag race down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Drew Sherman up high. J.B. Gilbert down low at the line. It's J.B. Gilbert holding on.
Your Cleveland Grain non-week micro feature winner here at Cross County Speedway, J.B. Gilbert from Charleston, Illinois. All right, JB, first thing, congratulations. Good to see you back out here again. Yeah. You had a pretty good contest going there with Drew Sherman, and just for momentarily there, you lost your lead a little bit.
Yeah, to be quite honest, it's been 5 years since we had this car out, and we just got it together this week, and I'm old. I'm getting tired.
Yeah,
I was getting wore out. I need to get back in race shape.
There you go. Come out here every week. We'd be glad to have you.
Yeah.